Medina, can you call roll for us?
Yes. Chair Willis,
Present.
Vice Chair Pease, Board Member Bauer is absent today, Board Member Eggleston Sislovich,
Present.
Board Member Hendrick,
Present.
Board Member McKeenan,
Present.
Board Member Weimer.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you.
And let me quickly remind the public members how they can provide comments in Zoom and in person. During the meeting, members of the public may provide live public comment by submitting a speaker card prior to the start of public comment on that item. Speakers may address items that are not on the agenda during oral communications. If a public comment speaker wishes to speak on more than one agenda item, please indicate so on the speaker card. Spoken comments via computer will be accepted through Zoom app. To address the board, go to zoom.us/join. Meeting ID is 968-0019-7512. When you wish to speak on agenda item, click on raised hand. When called, please limit your remarks to the time limit allotted. Spoken public comments using a smartphone will be accepted through Zoom mobile application. To offer comments using a regular phone, call 669-900-6833 and enter meeting ID 968-0019-7512. When you wish to speak on agenda item, hit *9 on your phone so we know that you wish to speak.
Thank you. We have a resolution to authorize live teleconferencing for our board meeting. I think we're all familiar with it. Can we take a vote to approve that? I need a motion. Can I have a motion to approve teleconferencing?
I move to approve.
Thank you. And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Board Member Eggleston Sislovich,
Yes.
Board Member Hendrick,
Yes.
Board Member McKeenan,
Yes.
Board Member Weimer,
Yes.
Chair Willis,
Yes.
and Vice Chair Pease.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. Do we have any oral communications for the board today?
I haven't received any speaker cards and I do not see any raised hands in Zoom.
Okay. And agenda changes, additions, deletions? I don't have any. Anybody else? Nothing? So let's move on to schedule of meetings and assignments. Do we need to review that in any way, Amy? Are we good?
Do we have next year's schedule?
There's no agenda changes.
Okay, so now I'm looking at meetings and assignments. Do we need to discuss that at all? I think we're fine. We have a opportunity for grant funding from the Office of Historic Preservation. And I think it's a mistake not to do that. It's due tomorrow. So we need to move along with it. I think, Amy, do you want to speak to this? Should I just take it? Okay. So it's indeterminate how much money is involved there. They have a pot and they're going to divide it between applicants. But I think I would like to use this opportunity to plunge into digitizing our existing inventory. I don't know actually how much money we would need to do that. I'm hoping it's a pretty volunteer effort. But any money, I think, would help us with consultants and maybe methodology, which I think it's going to make the job easier. So do we have any discussion on that? Okay. And Amy, what did we decide? Do we need to write anything for them, or we really just need to fill out names and?
There's just the one form and it's not even saying what you're going to use it for. There's no commitment to use it for a certain project. If we get it, we just have to match whatever, whatever they give us, we have to match, with in-kind services. So in our case, that would be a consultant. So we'd have to, get some budget for that.
Well, I also think we could argue the volunteer hours would be a match. So
So it's just a matter of, it's just a
we'll worry
matter
about
of
the money later.
tracking. We have to be careful about tracking stuff so that we get them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. So you will take care of that this afternoon for us?
I will send it by the deadline.
Okay, thank you. So let's approve minutes, or let's review the minutes from August 25th. I have to admit, I haven't read. Does anybody have any corrections? Do I have a motion to approve?
I move we approve the minutes. Sorry.
Medina, did you? Can't hear.
So who made the motion? Sorry.
Oh, so Christian just made the motion.
And then board member Weimer seconded, right? I
I'll
believe.
second it. Yes. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. So
Okay.
all in favor?
Yeah, let me conduct the
Oh, you're gonna do a
the
voice?
vote. Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Chair Willis,
Approve.
Vice Chair Pete,
Yes.
Board Member Eggleston Sislovich,
Yes.
Board Member Hendrick,
Yes.
Board Member McKinnon,
Yes.
Board Member Weimer.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. So do we have items that aren't on the agenda that we would like to comment on or question, or any announcements?
I just want to know, do we have a schedule for 2023 yet?
Are you asking if there's a calendar schedule? It's always the second and fourth Thursdays of the month are the dates at 8:30 in the morning. As you know, we meet pretty much once a month because we don't have the kind of volume of stuff that comes through. Yeah. It's not determined which of those two dates. So if you know you're going to be out of town, just please let me know, just email me, and then we'll try to focus on the other meeting of that month. Yeah, thanks.
I think let's get them all on our calendar, because as this, I'm assuming we do not have approval yet for our consultants on the inventory update
The council approved it, but we do not have, there's
contracts.
all that purchasing snafu thing that's still ongoing.
I'm gonna have to do a strike, sit outside their office.
No, it's more than that.
Okay, but I do think let's allow for some additional meetings next year as we add these properties to the inventory. I don't think we know exactly how it's going to go. So I think there might actually be some night meetings involved. So let's leave ourselves some bandwidth for that option. So I had a few things I wanted to bring up. One is the railroad bridge coming into Palo Alto from Menlo Park. It's on the list of potentially, well, it's on the list of National Register eligible, as are the underpasses at University and Embarcadero. But the bridge is at risk now. The Caltrans is moving on it. They're looking to replace it. I think I would like to see us agendize it for our next meeting. And in the meantime, think about how we would like to respond to that. I would hope that it would at least be relocated. I'd hate to lose it as a landmark. It really actually is, because you can see it from El Camino. I think a lot of people see it as our entry. But I'd like to get, board opinions on that and ideas about how we could approach I believe that the governing body is Caltrans, but I'm not even sure about that. But how we would approach people who are making the decisions and make a plea for at least some kind of restoration or relocation or something. So, Amy, can we just agendize it for our next meeting, and we could have some photos and some history. And I'm not asking you to do this, but we could send, I mean, I'm asking you to agendize it, but we could send you information that would be good for slides for that kind of thing.
So when you say whenever the HRB next meets.
Yeah.
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 Sure, I'm happy to share this.
I'm not quite sure how to proceed, but I think that we have a really good opportunity to reinstate a Mills Act with the DeLamos property on Cowper. It's a really unique thing that I think that if we could maintain as much housing as there now, it would actually be a real city benefit and historic benefit. So I guess, Margaret, you worked with Dave on the Mills Act. I mean, I'm wondering if we can put some kind of condensed version of a request to council that they would consider this property as a, I'm trying to think of, a sample or, what word am I looking for here? But to try it with the DeLamos property, and we would need buy-in from owners, and I'm assuming new owners. But I think that it's definitely at risk, and I think the longer it sits, the more at risk it becomes. And I think this is an opportunity for us to be a little proactive. It doesn't seem like a huge request for one property to council. We would have to work up some numbers, but does anybody else have any thoughts about this? I don't want to have a discussion, but if anybody has no comments on that one.
I have a comment.
I think maybe help us with this. That it seems like it's come up before. Council.
Red button in the middle.
Is that better? I think this has come up before, that it's likely if depending on what state the work is for a Mills Act, that there would probably be an analysis that would have to be done on the fiscal impact from the tax break. Does that seem likely?
We haven't done any Mills Act projects in the city of Palo Alto, so this would all be.
I meant if they were to consider implementing one here in Palo Alto that was customized to Palo Alto, there would likely be an analysis of the impact on revenues based on however that was configured. Is that likely?
Yeah, they're in the tailored draft pilot program that was discussed last year. There was comments about, anyways, there's been reports about this that I don't have off the top of my head. Because the school district doesn't get the taxes are diverted. So, that's one of the controversial aspects of the Mills Act. But, when David's here next, he's the one that was on that committee with Margaret. I know Margaret's online, but we didn't agendize Mills Act today, so I don't feel comfortable talking about this at all.
All right.
So let's leave it, Christian. So you would like to see the fiscal impact. Is that what I heard?
Well, it just seems to me that this draft has been in process, as I understand it, for maybe as much as a decade, on and off.
It hasn't been in process. There was a subcommittee that started and worked on a draft. It was reviewed. It's been shared with the Historical Resources Board, but it's never been taken farther than that. It hasn't been shared with the city council or anything. So it's, that's, agendizing and moving that forward to discuss it with council even hasn't happened.
Okay, but their work did start and then it stopped and then it started again. I I just wonder, do you have to have a complete pack? Maybe this is not an appropriate conversation then if it's not agendized. Is that correct?
It's just a little awkward because we haven't agendized it. And I feel like if the public is watching, maybe they don't watch these meetings, but if they do, they're
Right.
wondering what we're talking about.
Okay. Well, then
Yeah.
they'll wait till we can put it back on the agenda.
Also, I think it would be good to talk about it at a meeting when David's here. I more just want us all to think about the Delamos property and Mills Act in the same time, at the same time.
I have a question. Would the Mills Act and the designation of a historic district go in tandem? Or are we talking about two different things?
Two different things.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Okay, well, those are kind of my concerns at the moment. I would also like to say I went to the past board meeting, Palo Alto Stanford Heritage Board meeting last night. There is some enthusiasm for helping us update the inventory. They're also looking for one of our board to join them as a liaison. So if you're interested, let me know. I think it's basically a once a month commitment. So I don't think it's huge. And last night was in the garden at Gamble, so it was lovely. I would like to. Dave's leaving the board and he's been our liaison. So I think it would be great if we had a new liaison with them. I think they'll be a really good source of volunteers. And they had some really good ideas about putting the request out on the city manager's newsletter or whatever it's called, his weekly update, how to reach out into the community. So I'm excited about that. And I think that's all I got. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Thank you. And a second?
I second that.
And can I voice vote? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. And thank you all for coming for my 15-minute meeting. But I feel like it's nice to sort of reconnect at least once a month.